In this problem, I'm asked to solve the quadratic equation 2x squared minus 4x is equal to 3. One way to solve a quadratic equation is to set it equal to 0. Therefore, I'm going to subtract 3 from both sides, giving me 2x squared minus 4x minus 3 is equal to 0. Now that it's set equal to 0, I could try to factor it. If it was factorable, I would be able to find two numbers whose product is equal to 2 times negative 3 or negative 6, and at the same time these two numbers would have a sum of that middle term or negative 4. If I look at two numbers that multiply to negative 6, one option would be 1 and the other negative 6. I would know that 1 plus negative 6 is not 4. I could also try negative 1 times 6. Again, its product is equal to negative 6, but negative 1 plus 6 is not negative 4. My other two choices would be 2 times a negative 3. Again, the sum of 2 plus negative 3 is not 4, and negative 2 times a positive 3. Therefore, I know that this is not factorable with integer coefficients. So I'm going to use the quadratic formula in order to solve. We might remember that given a quadratic, ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0, I can solve for x using the quadratic formula which states x is equal to the opposite of b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac, all divided by the quantity 2a. So for my task, I have a be equal to 2, b is negative 4, and c is negative 3. Since my quadratic is also already set equal to 0, I can now use the quadratic formula to solve for x. X is equal to the opposite of b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4 times a times c. This is all going to be divided by 2 times a. Now I must simplify my numerator and denominator. So I have x is equal to the opposite of negative 4, which is a positive 4, plus or minus the square root of negative 4 squared, which is 16, minus 4 times 2 times negative 3. Negative 4 times 2 is a negative 8, and a negative 8 times a negative 3 is a positive 24. Therefore, under my square root sign, I have 16 plus 24. This is all going to be divided by 2 times 2, which is 4. Now I have x is equal to 4 plus or minus the square root of 16 plus 24, which gives me 40, all over 4. I now have to simplify the square root of 40 because there is a perfect square that is under the square root. I know that the square root of 40 is the same as the square root of 4 times 10, which is the square root of 4 times the square root of 10, which is equivalent to 2 times the square root of 10. So now I know my solutions of x are equal to 4 plus or minus 2 times the square root of 10 all over 4. In order to simplify this, I could rewrite this as x is equal to 4 divided by 4 plus or minus 2 divided by 4 times the square root of 10. I can see that 4 divided by 4 is equal to 1, and 2 divided by 4 is 1/2. So I have my solutions of 1 plus or minus 1/2 times the square root of 10.